From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CORETV News.
CORETV News. Expanding. Hello and welcome to CORETV News at 7. I am Frank Omalape, and here are some of the stories filing in at this hour. Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi is not taking light the Sunday morning shootout that claimed one life during the APC rally. The governor, who spoke to journalists on his way to Abuja to brief President Goodluck Jonathan, says the incident was an attempted assassination on his life. Our Ekiti State correspondent Rashid was there and brought back this report.
You have killed somebody here. Who are you defending? Whose interest are you protecting?
Governor Kayode Fayemi says the violence experienced in Ado Ekiti was unacceptable, vowing to take his case to the doorsteps of the powers that be in Abuja.
That it was an assault on the government and the people of Ekiti State. And if one were to be extreme in one's interpretation, you could even go as far as saying it was an assassination attempt against the governor of Ekiti State. And that's why I'm going to Abuja to see the president and the IG.
The chief security officer called Ekiti people to hold security agencies responsible for the death of the All Progressive Congress party member shot dead, whose name he gave us Taiwo Akinola.
In the death of Taiwo Akinola yesterday was a police officer exhibit blatant as in charge of his duties. The authorities themselves should do the needful. In the case of the OC Mobile, who was there ordering the tear gassing of my convoy, a low-level officer, a superintendent of police, I believe the authorities will take appropriate measures.
With June 21st governorship election just days away, it is only hoped that all relevant security agencies and stakeholders will act right to ensure a free, fair and credible elections. Rashid, CORETV News, Ado Ekiti.
Reactions have continued to trail the Sunday morning violence that engulfed Ado Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, during a rally put together by the All Progressives Congress. This follows an earlier visit alongside officials who came to drum their own Ayodele Fauci ahead of the June 21 governorship poll. A public affairs commentator, recalls Lester, on a visit to our Lagos station, admonished President Jonathan to call both the police and INEC to order if the state is to experience a peaceful election.
Electronic voting is the only way that can reduce to the barest minimum the level of our electoral violence and corruption.
So political parties into creating chaos in the state. Some members of the All Progressive Congress in Osun State, who decamped the party, have been formally inducted into the People's Democratic at the Osun PDP Secretariat. Osun State correspondent Bido Koro was at the event and filed in this report.
As the build-up to the Osun State election continues, politicians are still in for more measure of victory. At the Osun PDP Secretariat in Osogbo, the Oshumari group, whose members were formerly with the APC, decamped to the PDP. Publicity Secretary of Osun PDP, Bola Ajawo, says more members of opposition parties are expected to join the PDP, stressing the benefits associated with being a PDP member.
What it simply means is that one by one we are leading, one by one we are getting and becoming surer of winning. It's certain, it's good. Osun people together and collectively are on the same page with PDP that power will be taken away from these interlopers come August 9, 2014. It is only APC that will transfer from A to ACN.
An electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
CORETV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
CORETV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
CORETV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
CORETV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0.
Story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CORETV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome. The stories. 3 feared dead as pro and anti-Sanusi protesters clash in Kano. Also in this program, Governor Kaude Fayemi of Ekiti State described Sunday morning shootout during the APC rally as an attempt on his life. Nigerian army kills 50 Boko Haram members in an ambush close to Sambisa forest in Borno State. And outside Nigeria, Iran and Turkey pledged to work together to stop bloodshed in the Middle East.
Business news. Federal government seeks buyers for assets of distressed Nitel.
In our top story tonight is sports. Nigerian Super Eagles to arrive Brazil for the World Cup on Tuesday.
Joining us again now, details of the news headlines and other stories. The newly appointed Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, has been turbaned. The turbaning, which took place at the government house, was held amid heavy police presence. The policemen condoned off the area, restricting the movement of people from the venue of the installation. Sanusi was announced the 14th Emir of Kano to replace the late Ado Bayero, who died last Friday at the age of 83. The Emir's palace is still completely surrounded by the police that are refusing all entrance or exit. The Kano State Governor, Rabiu Kwankwaso, and APC stalwart, Nasir El-Rufai, say the appointment of the Emir is devoid of any coloration.
I, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, have the pleasure to heartily convey your appointment as the Emir of Kano. And will necessarily require on your part the exhibition of the attributes of your maturity, fairness, commitment, tolerance, and above all, the fear of God for greater accomplishment and for success.
He is educated in both Western and Islamic education. He is fluent in languages. He is a good ambassador for the people of Kano, for northern Nigeria and Nigeria. He is a person that has established himself and his reputation not only in Nigeria but the world over. He is a man of courage, a man of integrity, a man that will die defending the truth. And he has all the qualities needed to make a great confident, based on our knowledge of him, that he would excel as the Emir of Kano, because to fill in the shoes of late Ado Bayero, the Emir of Kano, is not easy.
Meanwhile, the protest that greeted the announcement of Sanusi as the new Emir of Kano has continued, with another violence claiming no fewer than 3 lives, while scores of others sustained varying degrees of injuries. This followed a bloody clash between those opposed to and those supporting Sanusi's emergence as Emir. The bloody clash occurred along the Emir's Palace Road and Kofar Nasarawa and started during a demonstration by some irate youth opposed to Sanusi's appointment, a situation that resulted in a violent confrontation between the two groups. Both groups made bonfire on both sides of the road leading to the Emir's Palace, which was said to have been put off by the police when they arrived the area. The youth reportedly regrouped after the policemen left and engaged each other in a show of strength. However, another team of policemen from the police command was said to have cracked down on the irate youth and restored sanity. They were said to have cordoned off the entire area and kept surveillance. The Kano State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, Magaji Musa Maja, who confirmed the disturbances, says normalcy was gradually being restored to the troubled spot. The All Progressives Congress has accused the PDP of inciting the violence that occurred. The announcement, it wondered why a ruling party which has shortchanged. Former Vaku Abubakar has advised the new Sanusi that the new Emir had worked hard to fulfill a lifetime ambition that should use his position to unite all the ruling houses of Kano State and its people behind his appointment. According to Atiku, leadership is a test from God, and therefore urged Sanusi to use his position to do justice to all manner of people and his domain. The former vice president noted that Sanusi's greatest and immediate challenge was sustaining Bayaro's passionate commitment to tolerance, unity, and peaceful coexistence. Ekiti State Governor Kaude Fahimi has not taken light the Sunday morning shootout that claimed 1 life during the APC rally. The governor, who spoke to journalists on his way to Abuja to brief President Goodluck Jonathan, says the incident was an attempted assassination on his life. Ekiti State correspondent Rashid was there. He brought back this report.
Has killed somebody here. Who are you defending? Whose interest are you protecting?
Governor Kaude Fahimi says the violence experienced in Ado Ekiti was unacceptable, vowing to take his case to the doorsteps of the powers that be in Abuja.
That it was an assault on the government and the people of Ekiti State. And if one were to be extreme in one's interpretation, you could even go as far as saying it was an assassination attempt against the governor of Ekiti State. And that's why I'm going to Abuja to see Mr. President and the IG.
The Chief Security Officer of Ekiti urged all Ekiti people to hold security agencies responsible for the death of the All Progressive Congress party member shot dead, whose name he gave us Taiwo Akinola.
The death of Taiwo Akinola yesterday was entirely avoidable. It was an avoidable death. It ought not to have happened at all. Security agencies, electoral bodies, all state agencies must ensure that there's a level playing field.
Fayemi, who expressed sadness at the action of the mobile police unit, called on authorities to act right and fast before the situation degenerates.
When you have a situation in which a police officer exhibits consistently blatant bias in the discharge of his duties, then clearly the authorities themselves should do the needful. In the case of the OC Mobile, who was there yesterday ordering the tear gassing of my convoy, a low-level officer, a superintendent of police, I believe the authorities will take appropriate measures.
With June 21st days away, it is only hoped that all relevant security agencies and stakeholders will act right to end. Rashid, News, Ado Ekiti.
Reactions have been trailing the disruption of the All Progressives.
And we are not saying yes or no, but because there's a tradition, there's a culture of that selection, we are now sending a note of warning. Please, this time we will not agree to any form of consensus.
Responding to their demands, Governor Babatunde Fashola, represented by the Commissioner for the Environment, Tuji Bello, assured the protesters of a level playing field for all aspirants in the party.
His Excellency has sent us to come and appeal to you. He has listened to you, he has heard all your complaints, he has read it in the papers, and he has heard it even that.
After the address by the governor's representative, the protesters appear to have calmed down, but
the Ogun State chapter of the APC has called on the aggrieved members of the party belonging to the Oshoba-led group to embrace unity and peace. Olajumoke Olatunji has more.
The internal strife and disagreement to do everything possible to unite the warring factions. The governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosun, admonished the newly elected executives and members to remain loyal as the general elections approach. He also assured them of his loyalty, better and improved administration as he relays his bid for second term in office.
We will continue to follow our policy when we are going out for campaign. All of those things that we promise, of course, you can attest to me that we have comments and we will continue. Ever many times, ever daily, Jessica, ẹni tó bá bínú. The
newly elected executives say this is the right time for the party to come together as one.
It's a wonderful exercise. I'm so happy that it has come to pass that the inauguration eventually take place today. In politics, there is no fight to finish in politics. So any plea that the senator, or what do you say, that anybody should make to them, they just have to accept for the interest of the state.
We are one. We are still one. Those who are on at the other side, they are still our people. So we are asking them to come back home. This is their home. APC is their party. APC is our party. APC is the party of all of us. And united.
The wishes of the masses of APC in Ogun State is being actualized with the inauguration of the new APC. And what I really say is to advise, to appeal to all those still outside, because we'll be hearing this wranglings here and there where it's not uncommon in a political setup like this. But I want to assure you that we are going to bring everybody back into the fold to ensure that come 2015 we are going to be victorious in all our elections.
The agreed ones among us is to meet them
talk to them and take them back to our folks. That's the next thing now. We cannot afford to lose them. They are our people.
The governor, despite Oshobo's vows of no negotiation and forgiveness, called on the aggrieved members of the party to unite. Olajumoke Olatunji, CORETV News, Abeokuta.
Meanwhile, some members of the All Progressives Congress in Osun State who decamped the party have been formally inducted into the People's Democratic Party in an event organized at the Osun PDP Secretariat. Osun State correspondent Vido at the event and filed in this report.
As the build-up to the Osun State election continues, politicians are still aligning and canvassing for more members so as to ensure victory. At the Osun PDP Secretariat in Osogbo, the Oshumari group, whose members were formerly with the APC, decamped to the PDP. Publicity Secretary of Osun PDP, Bola Ajawo, says more members of opposition parties are expected to join the PDP, stressing the benefits associated with being a PDP member.
What it simply means is that one by one we are winning, one by one we are leading, one by one we are getting and becoming surer of winning. It's certain, it's good. Osun people together and collectively are on the same page with PDP that power will be taken away from these interlopers come August 9, 2014. It is only APC that will transform from AD to AC to ACN to APC, probably to ACODIM next time. PDP remains.
The Minister of Police Affairs, Abdul Jalili Adesina, says it is not true that the PDP intends to use the police during the forthcoming election.
I will never use police. Neither will give me power to use such police. Police should be a non-umpire. They are only agitating because they've lost. And somebody has to be the Minister of Police Affairs. I have a job to do, no matter what they say. I will do it. Continue to do it.
A member of the Osun PDP, Yomi Oluyole, highlighted the benefits awaiting women of the state who may want to decamp to the PDP.
See what is happening there and see what is happening in our place. So when they come, it means we are going to win the election. And if we win, the women, not only the women in the party, the women in the state, we know that we are going to be happy.
Osun PDP governorship flag bearer, Senator Iyola Omishore, recounted key reasons the PDP would win the August 9 elections.
Now is that APC are trooping to PDP. Our program of engineering is that we want to take all AC members in when we start our campaign. That is why you see every day they are coming to us. AC are depleted. Initially when they were old, they didn't win election. Now they have lost their steam. So they are basically going to lose election.
With members of the APC party still switching camps ahead of the August 9 elections in Osun State, only time can tell in what direction the balance would swing. Beat Okoro, CORETV News, Osun.
Nigerian soldiers have killed over 50 insurgents as they filed out of Sambisa forest to launch an attack on some communities in Borno and Adamawa states. The troops also recovered about 30 rifles and a number of machine guns aftermath on the Boko Haram elements. The Nigerian authorities say the soldiers waylaid the insurgents based on intelligence reports.
6 smoke grenade canisters and locally fabricated guns, as well as motorcycles used by the terrorists in the foiled attack. 4 soldiers who were wounded receiving medical treatment in a medical facility near there. At this point, we want to offer our condolences to the soldiers that have lost their lives, and to those who are injured, we pray that they will recover speedily to join the rest of us. We also offer this condolence to the families, children, friends, as well as to Nigerians who feel deeply pained.
Transporters in Lagos have been advised to always consider the safety of other road users. Governor Babatunde Fashola gave the advice to the transport sector. Obialaos have counted 10 militants among the dead as Pakistan's biggest city witnessed the return of a kind of spectacular offensive waged during an insurgency that
Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Democratic Party,
Hello and welcome to News Judgment. I am Frank Omalape. Well, it's so good to have you join us as we are back here for the first time in the week. And of course, it's no news that the new Emir of Kano, former Governor of Central Bank, Lamido Sanusi, has been turbaned as the new Emir of Kano. He took over from the late Ado Bayero, who died at the age of 83 last Friday. Well, and of course, a whole lot of things happening following up that installation. The Nairo youth has stormed the street protesting, and no fewer than 3 reports have been confirmed dead in that report. Well, these are some of the news breaking earlier this evening, and we're going to be taking a look at these, giving it perspective or a perception on a dimension what you should take on the day list tomorrow. That's exactly what we'll do on the show here. And my call appearance is here, Dan Alo, an in-house analyst. Thank you for being part of the show again. It's good to be back here.
Yeah, it's so good to be here.
Let's start very quickly from this news breaking. 3 fear dead as pro anti-Sanusi group clash in Kano.
Well, the tussle for who becomes the Emir of Kano had been on, and since Friday, after the demise of the present Emir Alhaji Ado Bayero, 2 factions. One is the son of Ado Bayero, who was congratulated by PDP secretary as the new Emir. However, the governor had a list from the kingmaker, the Emirate Council members. And the governor made mention that not only that Lamido Sanusi had his name on the list, but he was ranked number 1. And so automatically it becomes the Emir if the Emirates, who are supposed to choose the next king, have written to the government to say, okay, this is the next person in line.
This is what we want.
The riot started, some people lost their lives. But I'm still wondering, why do we have to shed life? Why do we have to shed blood on trivial matters?
Now, I want to take, this statement. I want us to quickly take a look at this statement by APC and accusing PDP of that statement, congratulatory the earlier congratulatory message to son of Ado Bayero.
The son of the late Emir.
Yeah. Now, they say that could have caused this violence.
Of course.
Resulting to the death of 3. And now, couldn't that be a kind of concern that we should... do you see that being the reason why we have clash?
The truth of the matter is that they should have exercised caution. We know the process. When a first-class king is to be made, there is a process it follows. So, whoever must have issued that congratulatory message would have said he didn't know what he was doing.
All right.
It was a calculated attempt to fuel trouble in that particular part of Nigeria. And that action is condemnable, and we hope that the turbaning of Lamido Sanusi will put an end to all of this crisis that we have. He's been turbaned, he has been chosen by the Emirate Council, and he has his letter of office.
Now, let's look at that story, which says that apart from the fact that people died protesting, he's been installed as the new emirate. Yes, he's been turbaned as the new emirate, and we have a lot of people going there to pay homage already. Do you see these bringing a change, or because the last emirate have about a rule for 50 years, and now Sanusi at his age, if we start projecting who might take over from Sanusi, I just want to
the Emir that
on a lighter one.
ascended the throne when he was just 33 years old.
Yes.
Sanusi is in his late 50s.
Exactly.
So, you know, we are not God. So the number of years as expected may probably be lower than 50 years or may even be higher. You know, all of these things has to do with what God has granted. But the fact is that it's a traditional throne, and then his own people should be able to benefit from him as an emir, because the late emir Ado Bayero was very, very influential. If you ask me, he fought the cause of his people very well, and then carried them along. He was religious, he was peaceful, and these are the kind of features that we want to see continue in that part of Nigeria.
Well, it's very interesting though that, of course, Sanusi being the nephew of the late Emir Ado Bayero, imagine the new Emir. Well, very interesting story to say, but let's look at the position of this story.
It's a front.
We're going to be having more reactions pouring because as it is, we're still having a clash, clashes between that region. Of the state.
Tomorrow you're going to find this on the front page of all the newspapers. 3 fair dead as pro and anti-Sanusi group clashes, and then the banning of Lamido Sanusi as Emir of Kano. We'll also enjoy the front page tomorrow in the papers.
Wow, well, that's it. Let's move to number 3 story breaking here, and this one says Akoyele, female president Nigeria never had. That's coming from Meina. Well,
Ajia Zainab Meina is the Minister for Women Affairs, and I think on a number of occasions I've seen her in company of Dora Akoyele. So eulogies continue to pour in for the late Dora Akoyele. It's a great loss to the country. She served Nigeria very well. You remember her days in NAFDAC, or what she did in trying to safeguard our lives from those bringing in adulterated drugs to Nigeria. And so she will be remembered for all of this. When she became Minister of Information as well, on a couple of occasions, we have had discussion one-on-one. I remember saying that Nigeria should not be referred to as Niger. We had little disagreement over trying to swag Nigeria's name and image, and she did very well to help project the image of this country in the proper light.
That's in respect of her campaign when she was the information minister.
Absolutely.
Talking about
absolutely. So
great country, great people.
Yeah. So Dora Akoyele, she just not passed like that, and that's why you still find encomiums pouring in on her. And Ajia Zainab Meina has lent her own voice too to say she was Nigeria's female president we never had.
Well, so where do we likely to see this in the dailies?
This is another. This probably may not be on the front page. It probably may just be on the inside page of the newspapers.
Okay, let's move away from that. Well, on this program, News Judgment, the last that we heard about the Chibok girl was the fact that we saw them, 3 of who escaped from the abductors camp came to Lagos, and they had interview with them. But though their face was protected, their identity wasn't made known. But this time, of course, it's coming from the United Nations, and they say it's abducted Chibok girls open to sexual abuse, even if they come back or they return to their family. But this is a source.
They are telling us the obvious. We know that for female to be abducted, and then teenagers to be in the den of terrorists, you cannot rule out sexual abuse. And then we have had the experiences of some of them who escaped, and they told us how they've been sexually abused. And that's the fear that is being expressed here by United Nations. And I'm sure by tomorrow they will be discussing at the Global Summit on Sexual Violence and Conflict in the United Kingdom, London, to be precise. And I feel that all of these are issues that will come up. Nigeria abduction of Chibok girls will top their agenda. I'm quite sure about that. And then it is still hoped that we'll continue the search and rescue operations for these girls while we hope that they will come back and we provide psychological help for them and then medical help for them as soon as they are returned.
But that is very, very necessary and important. I think the federal government should begin to make that the first on its agenda concerning the Chibok when they are returned to their family. But where do we likely to see this details?
This is it has to do with the Chibok girls, and I have said any story on that abduction will enjoy the front page prominence in the papers.
Okay, away from that now, the last we heard on the Nyanya bombing, well, this time there's a follow-up on Nyanya bombing. The federal government files charges against mastermind Oguche. The guy Oguche who happens to be Dasamin Oguche was a suspect to be behind the Nyanya bombing. Of course, he's, the federal government has filed a charge against him.
Well, he was first arrested on his return from the United Kingdom, but he has a father who was an ex-army general, and his father and some other human rights lawyers, came in his defense, because while he was arrested, the United Kingdom had contacted Nigeria to say this person has a tainted record. Do you understand? So, I mean, he has seen it all. They have seen what he can do, what he's capable of doing. Even immediately he did the Yaya bombing, he tried to escape, and he went as far as Sudan, and he was caught in Sudan and repatriated back to Nigeria. So it shows you that when you're dealing with this kind of individual, you need to be very, very careful. I'm sure Nigeria will be logical with the charges they filed against him, and I'm sure they have all the evidence to point to the fact that he was involved with others who are at large to perpetrate that evil that was done in Yanya.
So let's promote this on the front page. We have it talking.
It goes to the front page. Yanya bombing. Several lives were lost. Over 72 lives were lost in that twin bomb attack on the nation's capital in Abuja.
Well, let's move away from that. But now we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at a leader of the All Progressive Congress, Major General Muhammad Buhari, retired. The new emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido, to join forces against fighting terrorism. We'll give you detail, of course, in our course of analysis when we're back. This is News Judgment. We'll be back after this time out.
CORETV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803 471 8550 or 0803 724 9733 014 533 407. Our 24-hour news station.
So have you back. This is News Judgment. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. Well, let's go straight to what the APC chieftain, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, asking the new emir to join forces in fighting terrorism. Now, I think this is his first message he might get from anybody
in the country. And he has put forth one of the troubling issues that we have in Nigeria, to say the new emir of Kano should join forces with those on ground to fight insurgency.
This is very, very
important story.
Important story, and of course, this is actually will I say, a revelation that position is important. Who was a very influential, emir of Kano.
That's what we expect. We do not expect anything lesser. The people of Kano, I feel that Sanusi is knowledgeable enough and is intelligent enough to know all of this and will do. It is very hoped that he will do all what is required of him to maintain peace in that part of the world.
Now let's see where this might occupy tomorrow in the dailies.
It has to do with insurgency and a clarion call on the new emir of Kano to join in fighting terrorism. So it will go to the front page of the newspapers tomorrow.
Now let's move away quickly from that now. Well, this story, the next one is very interesting. That Uzekome paid 40 million naira ransom to kidnappers, according to federal government sources, for him to, you remember when he was kidnapped, and according to this report, that he actually paid 40 million naira to regain his freedom from the abductors.
Well, the government has taken those who kidnapped him to court. And from the court is where this revelation came in. Since he came out, he has never talked of his abduction with anybody. What I mean, he paid in dollars. Will that money, will it be more important than his life? So that's what we're saying. If you are in a lion's den, money compared to your life, his life was very important to him at the time. And he had to pay what he was demanded to pay. And he did. And let me also commend the Nigerian police for at least apprehending those men and taking them before the law court for the law to take its course.
Okay, so where do we see this tomorrow? Because of course, they have been charged to court, and it appears that they have to refund that money which he used.
The newspapers have crime pages.
Regaining his freedom.
Yeah,
so
the newspaper has crime pages. This is a very good crime story. And it will go, because of the popularity of Ezekome, it will go and lead the crime page in the newspapers.
Okay. All right, that will lead the crime page in the newspaper. Let's move away from that now. Well, Kogi lecturer confessed to planning jihad, SSS tells court. That's the revelation coming out there. Now let's take a look at this.
This particular man was arrested last year, November. He was an Islamic lecturer in Kogi State University. His name is Muhammad Yunus, and from investigation, he was known to be running a Boko Haram cell within the Igala community at the time. Now he has confessed to the SSS that he was recruiting for Boko Haram, he was training, he was lecturing them, and then they planned a jihad. And I don't know, for people like this, I don't know what they want.
Now, you know, if you look at the ideology of Boko Haram, of course, they say they are against the Western education. Now, you have a lecturer at that level who lectures in a university. Now,
so much contradiction in what they are asking for and what they seem to represent. Okay, they are saying they don't want Western education, but they can post their activities on YouTube.
Okay.
I mean, these are issues. Time they attacked Goza, they said they were communicating on phone. These are things that came with Western knowledge. Completely, you should have abandoned those platforms and begin to live in the medieval times. I mean, I don't know, but for a lecturer to be involved in their nephritis shows you that that lecturer is debased, and that's the truth. Nowhere in Islam you should take class.
Well, having confessed to such a crime,
the Quran does not support
the first thing we should be expecting is to probably put a stop, terminate his appointment as a lecturer with Kogi State. Well, that the case is in court.
Is in court. So until pronounced guilty by competent court of jurisdiction, he still remains a suspect. So any action that is going to be taken against him will align with what the court says.
But having confessed guilty, we expect that, of course, the judgment, we don't expect the judgment.
It's not.
Oh, okay, let's look at the very important story. This revelation is coming out, and the lecturer confessed, has actually pleaded guilty, planning jihad there. Now, let's look at where this might take on the dailies tomorrow.
Very interestingly, he is a coming from the State Security Service. It has to do with our security. So it carries a whole lot.
Have to stop today on our program today. Well, thank you for being part of the show, Dan. Dan has been a call appearance and in-house analyst, news editor here. Well, thank you for being part of the show again. Well, viewers, this is where we have to draw the curtain today on the program. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Let's do it again together tomorrow. Have a good night rest.